Good morning and good afternoon to you, Matter Zero. Hey guys, and this is Primeval, and welcome back to part 23 of my huge Earth map Deity series as the Celts, facing down 42 Deity AIs. Now, let's see. Quick recap. We're at war with most of the world here. Let's count the number of civs that we're not at war with. We're not at war with the Aztecs, the Shoshone, the Zulu, the Maya, the Iroquois, the French, the Greeks, the German, the English. So out of 42 civs, there's only 9 that we're not at war with. And to be fair, a few of them have been eliminated. Let's have another quick look at this. Victory progress. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 civs have lost their capitals. I'm not sure if anyone other than Venice has been eliminated. But that's the diplomatic situation. Venice and Babylon apparently have been eliminated, or are we not at war with Babylon? Babylon's still here. But we're not at war with them. Alright, good. Good catch there. That is 0. And hey, Jacob23, welcome to the stream. Alright, so that's where we are. And once we deal with the odd embarked unit, we're going to go capture Nottingham. There was a suggestion from YouTube that we give Nottingham to Elizabeth. I don't really think I want to do that. She'll just get mad at us soon afterwards, since we still have her capital, and then we'll have these contested borders. What I'll probably do is keep Nottingham for a little while as a naval base as we siege Seville and Barcelona. And then when we're about to capture either Seville or a second city, Barcelona, then we'll start raising Nottingham down. Because Nottingham, unless it has a public school, is just going to drag down our culture and science. There's no luxury resources that Nottingham has picked up, so we'll probably go and raise that down again. Or if we think we can trust Napoleon, which is unlikely, we'll probably just raise, or we could, selling Nottingham is an option, but most likely we're just going to raise that city. Alright, so I probably want to kill all this ski infantry before it can cause me any trouble. This thing's going to be in resistance for only one more turn. We'll probably want to back away slightly then. Let's see, what units do I have for that? Shoot this guy down. And we'll move off away from Amsterdam, out of range, maybe to here. And these guys should just start moving forward. I guess as far forward as we can, and deal damage there. These guys can run over. I guess we don't want to be within range of this Austrian artillery. Alright, so we can take a shot from here, get rid of that, and then move this guy over to start knocking down Nottingham. Oh wait, there's a Spanish cannon here. We'll need to take care of that guy as well. The Admiral in. And which of these guys can help out? None of them have the movement to get in here. Okay, so we're going to take some damage from that cannon this turn, which is unfortunate. During the last turn transition, we did pillage a Spanish trade route that was running over here, so we've got a little more gold in our coffers. And go and continue to deal damage here. I don't want to get within the city strike of any of these cities, so we'll just go and deal damage to this guy. And as for this unit, do I have any other ships I need to chase down? Let's move the Admiral here. And for now, let's run this guy north and he can take care of anything, any straggling Spanish ships or units that the Netherlands might send out. Alright, so our privateer probably wants to go home to heal up a little bit. Go heal in Edinburgh. This guy can take an instant heal. Do I want to pay 160 to upgrade him to a Carol? He can go running around hunting for trade routes to pillage. That might not be bad. First, let's go deal some damage to this guy before he disembarks and we have to do stuff there. The only reason I take Nottingham is because it's sort of in the way and we would get some gold from pillaging that. I guess we could leave it there. Austria doesn't have any forces. We could ignore Nottingham, that's a good point. Jacob23. And good morning, Trapper MMA. Welcome to the stream. Alright, meanwhile, we've got this guy hunting around New Zealand, looking for trade routes we can pillage. I guess if we get closer to Japan and Korea, Indonesia, we can find some trade routes there. Alright, so that's everything. A few more civs have adopted ideologies. Portugal with order. The Huns have had a revolution. Edinburgh has grown. We've got plenty of happiness. Let's see. The city's occupied. Extra unhappiness until a courthouse is built. All of our other cities have already been annexed, is that right? Yes. And are we working our great scientist slots now? We are. If I want to keep Edinburgh growing, I probably won't work those slots just now. Yeah, we're working all good food tiles, so, well, I don't know. Just the plain ocean tiles here aren't really the greatest. We want to get rid of this pikeman so that we can work the fish again. But that should be fine. Alright, so let's turn that turn over. Over on YouTube, Gummins Gube actually timed the turn transition with either the full animations on, well, I guess I don't have any animations on, but with the conventional view versus when I had it on strategic view for a turn, and apparently we saved 40 seconds, so maybe the next time around we will go and use strategic view. Trapper MMA says that they noticed me streaming last night around 1 AM, and I think I stopped streaming before 1, but yeah, I guess I haven't had as much sleep tonight as might be healthy. I generally do like to get a good 8 hours sleep, but now and then going without a full night's rest is fine. I saw a post saying that Paradox / Colossal Order wanted to see cities that were in city skylines that were copies of real life cities, and I had been meaning to try to use the Skylines engine to recreate Toronto for a while, and so that inspired me to give that a try. I think it ended up being a pretty boring stream, but it was fun trying to place down roads to somewhat mirror Toronto and place down the special buildings to correspond to where they exist in real life. Alright, so Portugal wants to make peace. I'm going to be preoccupied with attacking Spain for at least 10 turns, so I guess making peace here would be okay, especially if she would give me some gold, which seems unlikely. Alright, so straight peace. It does mean fewer ships that can come in and potentially cause trouble for me. So we'll go and accept a peace deal with Portugal there. We don't want to be at war with the entire world, so now there are 10 civs we're no longer at war with. Jacob23 asks how my PhD is coming along. It's coming along. I've been working on a set of experiments that are my last set of experiments for a couple months now, and I should be able to wrap that up soon. I'm hoping to submit my work to a journal for review at the same time as I go off to a conference, which is just 3 weeks away. And then after that, I'll be writing up my thesis and all the rest. So that's the timeline. Hopefully I'll be done defending in maybe 7 months from now. And then who knows what I'll be doing. Alright, so trade transition complete. Let's see. No more easily pillageable cargo ships, unfortunately. Once these two guys heal up, we are going to send them hunting for cargo ships. I think that was a suggestion by Trapper MMA on YouTube, so especially since we do have the sell exotic goods option, that'll be interesting to see. Whether we can sell the goods from a captured ship and whether we can sell them to a civ that we're currently at war with. Alright, so there's our monument done. We've got plenty of happiness, no rush to build out the courthouse then. Let's get started on a factory. I don't think our seas are safe enough to kick out a cargo ship. We could build out another privateer just in case we lose a few of ours. Or we could go for a ship of the line. That's 7 turns. Let's go for a factory. I don't feel like we need, at least we're not desperate for more naval units at the moment. Alright, so let's knock down all of these units. Clean up this Galeas. Move over this way. And, okay, so that guy's dead. Let's swing over. That gets us within range of Nottingham. If we park here, we're safe from artillery. Let's take down all of the cannons first. And then these guys don't have targets. We could sail into here and take a shot at this cannon. It does put us in a little bit of danger. We don't have open borders with the French. Alright, so let's just sail over here, park the Admiral, and bombard Nottingham here. Meanwhile, this guy is going to go and hunt down that Spanish Galeas. Are we at war with Sweden? We are. Alright, fine, well. Head over to here and take a shot there. Meanwhile, our privateer is healed up. Until we need to capture Nottingham or Seville, I think we will go and ignore Nottingham here. We'll take care of this last unit and then swing over to Seville and then hit Barcelona. And that should take us somewhere around the 10 turns, and then we can declare war on Portugal again maybe, or maybe see if we can settle down and make peace with a lot of those other civs. We'll see. That'll be for a later episode anyways. So let's explore over this way, see if we can find some coastal trade routes to pillage. Meanwhile, this guy, I guess, just needs to heal up. Now it is too bad that even having a naval route defending the tile doesn't prevent it from being blockaded. We'll leave the Admiral there. This guy seems like a bit of a waste that he's not shooting anything, but there's nothing within range. We could move him into Nottingham, into range of the city's range attack, and that would get us a little more experience. I guess we don't really have... Okay, we're still friends with the Zulu, or slash, at least we're not at war with them. It's fine getting up beside that caravel. Alright, fine. Let's, since I don't need all of my frigates to be online all the time, let's slide this guy north, have him take a shot at Nottingham. And maybe we can get him over to logistics sooner. Alright, so this turn, we will test out strategic view, but before we flip the turn over, let's have another look at demographics. So, we're starting to fall further behind on tech. Now we are 12% behind Brazil. At one point, I think no, actually that's about where we were before. But that Brazil is at 70% is a little worrying. Alright, so we'll flip that over to strategic view. How are we doing on research? We're grabbing electricity, working our way over towards plastics, but that's going to be quite a ways away. Let's have a look at our spy steals. Surveillance in 10, a tech steal, or rather, surveillance in 1, tech steal in 10. That should be really good. I guess we would steal... Let's not research electricity then, we'll steal electricity, and so instead we'll head over towards steam power. And flip that over to strategic view, and go next turn. Rue Songjun asks what subject I'm doing my PhD in. I'm studying molecular biology. And Jacob23 says that he can already see my thesis on the front page of Nature. I don't know about that. I have a good story, but it's not sort of the wide appeal, shaking up the scientific field kind of story. It's more specific. Trapper MMA asks what ideology would I choose. It would really depend on what civs around me have either cultural dominance or are close to cultural dominance, because I don't really want to have to switch ideologies, so I'll probably just go with whatever our dominant cultural neighbors have adopted as far as ideology goes. All of the ideologies already have at least 2 civs in them, so getting the bonus policy slash ideological tenet from being one of the first 2 to adopt that ideology is already out. Alright, so we can make peace with Washington, that's fine. I do want to cut back on the number of civs I am at war with, so we'll go and attack Spain, and then I guess since we did make peace with Portugal, we don't have to go for the Portuguese capital. Maybe we'll swing around and liberate Cologne instead. Although attacking the Portuguese capital would get us a lot more gold, a lot more population. But now Maria's swapping embassies with us, making us feel worse about considering declaring war once again. If she has some nice wonders, though, I'm definitely going to go and declare war on her again. Warmongering penalty be damned. Because Lisbon here is so easily accessible by our navy. Alright, so we haven't lost any units. There's still that pikeman from the Netherlands blockading our fish tile. We really should try to get rid of him. But otherwise we're fine. So I don't know... I mean, the turn times still are really long, definitely in the 2-minute range. And I do believe that the strategic view is speeding things up a little. but it's not really noticeable. 2 minutes or 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It's all very similar. All right, so Austria has a lot of wonders. Brazil is second, and actually we are third, which is really quite amazing. Thanks to capturing York, we picked up 4 wonders there and put us into third place as far as civilizations with the most wonders. China is plotting against Babylon. Let's share that intrigue. Try to get these guys away from hostile. And they've got a sneak attack going. Alright, we'll flip ourselves out of strategic view. This guy here can get a little closer to logistics. We'll deal damage there. The Austrians have found a way through French territory to actually send their army at us, and we do need to deal with this artillery piece before it becomes too dangerous. Let's swing down over here. Get damage there. And kill that guy. Swing over this way. Make sure that artillery piece can't deal damage to our frigates, although Austria does have a second artillery here, so this frigate could take some damage next turn. And finally, this guy, I guess, should fire down that rifleman before he is able to land on our shores. And the Spanish do have a great general in the water. We can go and take a shot at that guy instead of taking damage from Nottingham. And should I take Nottingham? I guess Seville would be better. Let's just start knocking down Seville instead. Alright, so we can head over here, looking for trade routes, and are we at war with the Iroquois? We are not. Are we at war with the Aztecs? We aren't. Alright, let's keep on looking around for... Are we at war with the Songhai? We are. Alright, let's keep looking around for trade routes to pillage. We are at war with Indonesia. Meanwhile, here our scout is about to be killed by that caravel. Let's see if we can hide down to the south. A bunch of Indonesia has 2 privateers, which are dangerously close to dealing damage to our frigate here. Let's hide over here and fortify here. So that's the turn. Still growing. Picking out another privateer, working on the granary so we can send more food to the capital. Our science per turn could be better. Let's see, we've got 20 from the rationalism opener. Are we working the university slots here? I guess once we finish the public school, can we do that right now? That doesn't delay our public school at all. Alright, so we'll work the food tiles. Work both the university slots, that looks fine. Alright, so that looks good. Flip that over to strategic. And that scout was hunted down and killed by that caravel. Trapper MMA points out that the artillery only have 1 range of vision, but we are being spotted by the Gatling gun and potentially some of these other units. So we do have more artillery to shoot down. And actually that's a good reason not to take Nottingham. That would give the Austrians something to do with this army. So we'll start moving some of these frigates around to attack Seville, but we will leave at least 4 ships here to deal with the advancing Austrian land army. The Now is now healed up, so we can send that off hunting. And Massive Effects spots, oh no, Swedish privateers by Edinburgh. Okay, so maybe we're not going to be able to start knocking down Seville. We'll have to go and relocate some of our ships from London over to Edinburgh. Meanwhile, the Huns and the Aztecs are now friends. The 2 big warmongers in this game, apparently. They're still relatively... well, they're guarded versus us, but they haven't declared war on us. I guess they have concerns about our warmongering. Interesting. Alright, and the Shoshone aren't too happy that we're friends with the Huns, or friendly with the Huns. Freak X asks how old I am. I am rather old. I'm 30 now. I don't exactly feel 30. I guess that's one of the advantages of still being a student. But I'm definitely old by some standards. Okay, let's send the guys with the naval promotions over this way. Let's see if we can capture ourselves another privateer. 35. What is this? Yeah, it's only a minor victory. Okay, can I send anyone else over? This guy does have the naval promotion, but he's not going to be able to get within range. Oops. And now that I swapped those units accidentally, neither are these guys. Alright, well, let's just go and deal our damage. I suppose if I really wanted to... well, let's get an adjacency bonus. We could... no. Let's see, how many hit points is this? This guy is now down to 1 hit point. It was close. Very close. So, we'll just finish him off with the trireme then. And let's see. Not within range here. We'll deal damage to this Gallius. And Portugal has a cargo ship here, but we did make peace with them. Let's see. The Syrian caravel. And what we'll do is start swinging this guy back around, since we do have a Swedish fleet to deal with. The Indonesian privateers are trying to chase us. Let's take a shot at this Ethiopian Goliath. Goliath. And we do need to relocate this guy here. Alright, so and the rest of these guys will just shoot down the Austrian artillery. Let's swing over here. Alright, meanwhile these units, we have a Spanish cannon that we can take a shot at. Does put us within range of this artillery though, which is a little worrying. Let's swing over here. and take a shot at this Tertio. And we could, let's see, do I want to reposition one of my great admirals to help out against Spain? That would make good sense. So, can we run away safely? Let's just get over to here for now. And this now will go cargo ship hunting. Yeah. That's kind of dangerous, actually. So Brazil's heading over with submarines, which is not great. I think we're going to need to bulk or concentrate our fleet again. We'll forget about knocking down Seville and Barcelona. Haplo wants to know how we get these icons. So the shortcut there is, well, I'll just show you how to do it normally. So map information. If you want the resource icons, let's see, if I mouse over that, does it show what the hotkey is? It doesn't. But, let's see, the icons, I can toggle that using one of these keys. Actually, I've forgotten what key actually toggles the resource icon, but if you just click on this little toggle by the minimap, it'll bring up how you show or hide different bits of information on the map. Alright, so there's Dublin. Privateer done. Looks like we are going to have time to kick out a factory. And with this privateer, we'll keep him safe inside Dublin. Just because there are Brazilian submarines trolling around. I do want to protect the crab though, so let's sit on top of that. So you reveal subs when you're directly adjacent to them. You don't need submarines or destroyers. And actually, another way you can sense subs is by just mousing around, and I think you're able to identify subs by looking at the hexes where you can't actually plan moves to. Anyways, that was also a misclick moving that caravel out, but that's the way these things go. Alright, let's see if we lose anything to that submarine, or if he's on a mission to, say, head over to Dublin or Edinburgh. Alright, let's keep the strategic view so we can see what happens over with the Swedish privateers and then also with the Brazilian frigates and submarines, which are quite a bit scarier. Alright, so let's flip that over to strategic view and go next turn. Capturing a submarine would be really nice. We could try making peace with Brazil. I don't think they'd take it, but we'll definitely ask them for peace next turn, because I really don't want to fight all of these fights at once. And we can also ask Sweden for peace as well. They managed to capture that trireme, good for them. Alright, so we'll try our luck at capturing another privateer, then we'll try our luck at making peace with both Sweden and Brazil. Alright, so the Brazilian fleet isn't on a mission to kill anything they come across. they are just trying to get over to one of our cities. So, this could be a good source of free submarines and frigates if I can get enough firepower and get our privateers into position. So I definitely want to chase that Brazilian fleet. I'll also want to kill this land army that's coming over. So let's see, maybe I'll want to make peace with... Well, I definitely want to make peace with Sweden. And if possible, Brazil. So we'll see if we can get that deal done. And yes, we will try to capture a submarine with our privateers. I can just picture how that would happen. We've got a relatively modern submarine, a bunch of frigates with cloth sails come in, fire their cannonballs, their grape shot, a few lucky hits, the submarine is forced to surface, and then a privateer, also powered purely by the wind, comes alongside. Pirates jump across, board the submarine, and somehow know how to pilot it. Let's see if we can get a submarine capture off. It probably won't be this turn, but if we can set that up, that would be really good. Okay, so these frigates are going to have trouble getting into position. Let's swap positions here. Hill damage, the hill gets in the way. Alright, so instead then, we are going to have to move, there aren't any other frigates that I can get into position. Alright, well, let's just deal damage to this guy, see if we can get him killed. Not quite enough, and then we've got this trireme in the way. Alright, so kill the trireme, see if we can get the capture off on this privateer. No such luck. And those Indonesian privateers finally caught up with us. Let's see. I could get a bunch of pillages off over here. Go in, pillage, and then we take damage from the city. Alright, let's pillage a bunch of crab next turn then. And so we've got this coal online. If I want to save on gold per turn, we could go and delete this worker. Our gold per turn is extremely negative right now because this Swedish privateer is blocking all of our city connections, so we're losing a bunch of gold from that. The worker doesn't have anything else to do at the moment. Do I have any other workers? I do have one over in Iceland. Okay, so this guy will just fortify heal for now. And Trapper MMA very sensibly says that the privateers will just capture the submarine pilots and convince them to join our army. Alright, so let's take down the artillery. Well, let's see if we can actually make peace with Austria. Negotiate peace. Still have business to settle. What about Sweden? Maybe they've taken enough losses to... Nope. No time for negotiation. Okay, so I have a lot of other things to worry about. So even though we really are excited about capturing a submarine here, if Brazil will offer us peace, nope, no time for negotiations. Alright, so we've got 3 enemies with forces of varying degrees of scariness. I do want to deal with these artillery, and I definitely want to be here. It would be a bit of a disaster if a substantial force landed on Great Britain, because I don't really have any land units to defend these cities. At least they have walls up, so they can take a bit of punishment. Alright, let's start taking down the artillery here. And then here, do I want to destroy the Gatling gun? or damage the artillery. I think we do need to damage that artillery. And Massive Effects, just building a longbowman out of London. That's a good idea, since we do have a lot of people to fend off. I don't think there's anything I'd rather build. A factory would be nice, a public school would be nice, but we can certainly take a few turns to build out a longbow. Let's see, do we no longer have that ability? For some reason, we don't have the option to build out a longbow or a crossbow. Okay, so we've already passed that era. We'd have to build out a Gatling gun instead. So that's less appealing. We could build out another ship of the line in 8. Let's go for the factory here. It'll be a delayed public school. I'm hoping that by capturing a city I'll get enough gold to rush by a public school in London, but that doesn't seem terribly likely. So 3 city connections broken. If we can restore that, we'll have some of our gold deficit fixed. Vancouver has a new ally. Vancouver has declared war on Washington. And a bunch of denouncements running through. Your research agreements in there too. Let's move this admiral somewhere safer. And yeah, we'll want to move this guy away. Let's see, how far can the admiral move? Over to here. That will be fine. And let's see if we can spot the submarine. Alright, so, oh man, 2 submarines. At least 2 submarines. Alright, so we'll park there. Okay, we can start dealing some damage, but we would take damage in return. Alright, so do I want to start dealing damage to this submarine? Yes, I really should. So let's go park behind the caravel. Deal damage to this guy here. And these guys aren't going to be able to get into position. So let's move over to here, deal damage to this privateer. So we'll get ready to try to capture the submarines in a few turns, which means I do need to bring a privateer around. We can sort of spot for where exactly these guys are moving. Looks like they're headed maybe around and over to Edinburgh, or maybe over to Reykjavik. And this guy here is definitely going to help with the submarine capture, but let's finish off that Spanish Galleass. And we'll loop around to here. Alright, so we've got a whole bunch of units set up to try to ambush the Brazilian submarines, and looks like Theodora is sending out a few privateers to make good on her declaration of war. Let's see, negotiate peace. We still have business to settle. Okay, so none of the AIs are going for peace at the moment. I guess since they do have attack forces heading out, they do want to see if they can do anything with them. Now, do I want to maybe buy a unit in Edinburgh here? There's nothing relevant that I can afford, so we'll just have to wait a little while on that privateer. Alright, let's flip that over to strategic view again. And slide this over. Oh, so there's a question about our religion. Let's see. We might be able to flip London back to our religion. Let's go and... it looks like I'm not planning to go unhappy anytime soon, so we don't need to keep these missionaries around for heathen conversion of rebels. No, we actually wouldn't flip anyone in London. Alright, how about in York? We'd get that over to 3 citizens. We do have more pressure. That's 1 more citizen. That's not really very helpful. So from religion, we're not really getting huge benefits from that. We could use some of this faith to buy a mosque, but I think I want to save that, hoping that I'll actually finish out the rationalism tree and can buy some great scientists with this stockpiled faith. But otherwise, from religion, we're only getting 24 gold per turn from tithe, which is good. It could be better, but it's not huge. Alright, so let's flip that turn over and we'll see if we can get into position to capture some submarines next turn. Yes, massive effects, that pincer move indeed. Since we are doing a lot of fighting, I see what you're getting at, Chakra MMA. Doing the honor finisher would be more relevant since we're killing a lot of units each turn. That would get us a bunch of gold, a bunch of experience. The problem is that we're not going to be able to win a military victory with 42 capitals to capture, especially since Brazil is, probably going to get a scientific victory around turn 300, if not before. So our only hope is to beat them to scientific, which means I do think that I need the great scientists and the bonuses from rationalism. Whether I'm going to be able to finish that in time is another question altogether. But okay, so the Brazilian fleet is probably going over towards Edinburgh then, and we'll do our best to try to capture a submarine or two. Some guy 3112. This is a single player game on Deity. We're playing against 42 Deity AIs on a huge Earth map where all of the capitals start in their geographically accurate locations. Matter zero, I could definitely buy a profit, and I think the profits right now are only going to go 5 to 600 faith. So I could convert more cities. It would up my gold per turn slightly, and it's true, I might not actually be able to unlock or complete the rationalism tree, in which case this faith isn't going to be too useful, and the sooner I spend it, the sooner I'll get any returns from that. So I don't know, maybe the chat wants to weigh in on whether or not I should purchase a great profit and fully spread my religion. I don't see too large of a benefit to that, other than getting our tithe income up. And the downside is that we might not have enough faith to buy our great scientists, or that is 2 great scientists. But it's possible that we won't even have the option of buying great scientists because we won't have enough culture to unlock the social policies. Our next policy is 12 turns away. We're unlocking policies at about 1 every 30 turns. So that's not going to fit in. If the game is going to end around turn 300, we're only going to, have enough to unlock 2 policies, which means we probably won't be able to buy any great scientists with that faith. Alright, so let's see. Where are all of these submarines? We know there's one right here. We swing down to here. We don't reveal any more submarines. Alright, well, let's back off 1. Oh, actually we can't. I used up all of my movement. Alright, well, good deal damage there. There is an injured submarine somewhere. Let's see. I know in multiplayer you used to be able to, maybe it's been patched, you used to be able to use radar with a naval unit to see where the privateers are, but I guess we can do it the old-fashioned way. Okay, so the other privateers right here. And let's see, do I have any other frigates within? Ooh, that's kind of a scary fleet from Theodora. Right, let's see, can I run away? I probably should. We can deal some damage, but that's actually really scary. Alright, let's see if Theodora will take peace this turn. Seems unlikely. Negotiate peace, perhaps another time. What about Austria? Negotiate peace. No. And what about Sweden? What about Denmark? No, okay, so no peace for anyone. I think these guys do need to run away. At least get within our own territory. They don't have anyone to shoot, though. Alright, so we can go to here. Deal some damage there, run to here. Deal damage there. This guy should... Someone with a naval promotion should... Well, I don't want to be within range of Nottingham. Alright, well, go kill that Gatling gun. Or at least try to. Meanwhile, this guy is taking some damage. We need to kill that artillery. We want to kill this rifleman before he disembarks. And this frigate, let's see, go into the safety of London, take a shot at this Gatling gun, and move the Admiral over slightly. Fortify. And this privateer, does he have enough movement to capture this privateer? No, he's short by 1. Alright, let's protect the crab. And we'll bring this guy in. Keep on dealing damage to these submarines. Can we loop around? Minor defeat. Alright, let's just loop around to here, out of range of the frigates, and then we can keep an eye on where exactly these submarines end up. Alright, so these guys, the Now is going to continue hunting for cargo ships to pillage, but this privateer wants to join in on the submarine capture party. And we're going to go and pillage a bunch of workboats. There's only one workboat actually, so we don't have too many good targets. Alright, let's just run away instead, and maybe on our way out take a shot at this... Wait, I thought that was... Oh, okay. So I'm misreading the Aztec color scheme as the Indonesian color scheme. Let's just go over here. The Aztecs are still sending out settlers, and here we want to clear out this privateer. That decisive victory yet? No. That kills the privateer, no capture for us. We'll get back into Edinburgh, yell this privateer, and then these guys will loop around this way, I guess, to meet the Brazilian fleet. It's really too bad that the Brazilian fleet arrived at the same time as the Byzantine fleet. So this is actually getting a little more dangerous. Do I want to take a shot at this Swedish police before I loop around to meet the Brazilian fleet? Yes, I do. And park the Great Admiral right here. Alright, so that's everything. This will be our last turn as these two powerful fleets loom in on Great Britain. We might actually need to build a few more ships. I am impressed that both Brazil and Byzantium, after they declared war, they planned out a really long route for their armies to go, essentially halfway across the world, to actually attack us. Now, hopefully we'll be able to fend this off without too much trouble, but things are looking a little scary. Fortunately, the AI doesn't seem to want to fight as they move their fleet into position. So at least we're not taking damage there. And that gives us a couple turns of free shots as they try to set up to siege their city of choice. The Byzantines are probably headed towards Dublin, while the Brazilians are probably headed towards our capital. Some guy 3112 asks how I'm supposed to win on this map. Well, I'm hoping that we can get a scientific victory. But Brazil is still, or last I checked, they were 12% ahead of us on science. So I guess the plan would be to race towards Hubble, build Hubble. I don't have a grid engineer. Actually, that's a much harder plan. So usually, when I'm playing, I'll have gone tradition, which means I'm able to purchase grid engineers with faith. That means we're going to have to see when or how we can spawn a natural great engineer, because there's no way without an engineer that we're going to beat all of these civs to Hubble. And without Hubble, without the 2 free great scientists from Hubble, it's going to be really hard to pull ahead on tech. This game we went down the piety tree just to have some fun with heathen conversion and do something different. So this is going to be tricky. Maria wants to grab open borders with us. I don't see any advantage to that, so we're going to decline here. And Syllogism 01 bemoans the fact that in Civ 5 you can't have the nice little lines showing all of the diplomatic relations. Maybe I can see if I can add the InfoAttic mod for the next episode, and we can see if we can get a nice little connectivity graph as to who is and isn't at war with each other. But this is the last turn. We'll see if we can capture ourselves a Brazilian sub. That'll go a long way helping us deal with the Byzantines. England stole archaeology from us. We have a tech tool of our own coming in 5 turns, which will be in tomorrow's episode. And the Austrians are still sending their units. They do seem to have retreated with their artillery, or we managed to kill off their artillery and they haven't gotten any new pieces into position. Make sure these guys do die, and then start moving our fleet over to deal with the Byzantines. So we swing over to, say, here. Well, we don't want to be within Nottingham's range attack. How far can I move the Great Admiral? That would be within Nottingham's range attack. I suppose we could take 1 turn of a bombard from Nottingham, or potentially leave the Great Admiral to be captured. I'd rather take the hits on the frigate. Alright, let's see. What can we capture? Where are our frigates? So we've got this now. Unfortunately, we are at peace with Portugal, so we can't pillage all of those cargo ships. Are we at peace with the Maya? Alright, well, let's click on Washington. We are at peace with Washington. We're at peace with the Maya, so nothing to worry about here. Massive Effects is worried about a rifleman near Nottingham. Oh yeah, we do need to shoot that guy before he lands and causes a whole bunch of trouble for us. Alright, we'll try to remember to do that. And I would like to capture Privateer, but let's see if we can capture ourselves a submarine first. Decisive victory. Come on, nice. Alright, so we've got a submarine here, revealing 2 more submarines, which is a little distressing, I've gotta say. And let's start dealing damage with our units here. Now this guy doesn't have range. We could go and deal damage to this submarine and hope that Brazil keeps going on their merry way and doesn't turn around and fire on our fleet. Let's see, major defeat versus weakening some of the frigates. Alright, let's just go and deal damage there. Meanwhile, these guys here. Alright, let's see what we can do. Let's protect the crab. See if we can capture this privateer here. No success there. Need to swing around, kill this privateer while we've got the chance, and kill that rifle. Alright, so this fleet here needs to go and deal with the Brazilian fleet. We can go and park over here. Deal damage to that submarine. This guy doesn't have enough movement to get in there. Let's see, we'll go and park over here. Kill that Goliath, and then we'll run this guy around. Alright, meanwhile, let's get this privateer in. How many privateers do I have here? Just the one. Alright, we'll keep this guy in the middle. He does have 7 movement. We could potentially... No, we'll have to decide. Do I want to potentially capture 2 submarines, or do I want to capture more privateers, or with the Byzantium fleet? Let's try to go for the big win. Try to capture a couple more submarines. So we'll send this privateer to the north, and then just hope that these guys can stand up to this fleet without too much trouble. And we'll go and reposition this Great Admiral into Dublin, and then we'll have him do a crew change over to Iceland, and maybe he can provide a bonus to this fleet. So Newport to Iceland, and we'll have him meet up with our secondary fleet, which now has 1 submarine, which is pretty awesome. Alright, we'll assign our delegates, and then... Okay, so we're voting for host. There are 2 civs that have 4 votes. So even if we did vote for ourselves, tiebreakers do go to us since we're the human player, we're in the player 1 slot. We won't actually be able to propose any resolutions. And it's too late to try to sell our votes to anyone. So we'll just vote for ourselves, because there's no benefit to be gained by voting for anyone else here. I suppose we could make the Aztecs a little happy by voting for them. That actually might be a good idea. The Aztecs are mixing things up. They are declaring war on a bunch of the North Americans. Let's look at score. Close this off. We go look at score. I want to strengthen someone who will make trouble for Brazil. And I think the Aztecs are my best bet for that, so maybe if we voted for the Aztecs, they're also one of the only people with good score that aren't currently at war with us. So yeah, let's vote for the Aztecs. Aztecs, send some votes their way, commit those delegates. Matter 2, or Matter 0 wants us to vote for Shaka. He's actually quite friendly with us, so that would be a nice thing to do. And before we leave, we'll go and show off the demographics screen. We are... Oh, actually, we're quite a bit behind Brazil. So I misread the screen last time. We're actually 19% behind Brazil, which is really bad. So our only hope to win is to go for the scientific victory, but things aren't looking great right now, and we're being enclosed from all sides. So that's where we leave off today's episode, with things starting to look pretty grim. And London has flipped over to Catholicism. Alright, well, that's where we end off today's episode. Thank you all for joining. I'll be playing again tomorrow at this time. Warrior LTU asks what the full name of this game is. Maybe they can't see the game title on mobile. This is Sid Meier's Civilization 5. But we'll turn the turn over. Maybe something exciting is going to happen. But then that's it for today's stream. Hope to see you again tomorrow, or if you want to catch up on any episodes that you've missed, go and check out my YouTube channel, where we have every turn up to turn 100. Or we're at 229 now. So this entire series is over on YouTube if you want to get caught up or see where we started. I hope that the Brazilian fleet doesn't turn around and start dealing damage to our fleet and they're just headed off to who knows where. Probably Edinburgh, but possibly Reykjavik. And that'll give us some more free shots, let us capture a couple more submarines, which would let us deal much more easily with the Byzantine fleet that's coming up this way. And actually, they haven't dealt any damage to us, and in fact they're bypassing Dublin. Maybe she's headed for Edinburgh as well, and just taking a looping route around, which is going to give me more turns for free shots. So even though the AI has all sorts of advantage in acquiring technologies and production, we can leverage the fact that their combat AI, especially on the water, leaves us a lot of room to take free shots, and with privateers we can really take advantage of that and continue to grow our fleet. Oh no, but we were too distracted by the navies that we allowed this Brazilian fleet to land around Dublin. So we definitely want to kill those 2 riflemen and the cannon before they land, and we can sell our embassy to Greece, that's fine, but all of that we will be waiting or saving for our next turn. So it looks like the Brazilian fleet is headed towards Reykjavik here, so we'll have to feel out with these ships where exactly these subs are. We did lose our submarine, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to spot that. But if we lost those 2 units, 2 submarines, the subs probably are sitting right here. But you'll have to wait in suspense to find out exactly what's happening for tomorrow's episode. Now, Trapper May does ask how many cities Brazil has. We can check that right before we end today's stream, if they're willing to show us negotiate a peace treaty. If not, then we can't actually check the number of cities. They've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. At least 8 cities that we can see, and probably a few more tucked away elsewhere. So let's quickly see if we can make peace with Brazil. Nope. There can be no peace, perhaps another day. And that's exactly right. Perhaps another day. Alright, that's it for today's stream. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in tomorrow's stream or over on my YouTube channel. So long for now. PrimEval signing off.